Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. I'm doing a kitchen gadget video review here. One of an item I saw many years ago, and I didn't get it then, just recently purchased it, and it's a good thing I waited. It's this, a standing knife. Can you make that out? Yeah. This is the standing spreader knife from Resolute 355. I don't know if that's the model, the brand, whatever. I actually saw this on Crazy Russian Hacker, who does a lot of kitchen gadget reviews, but back then it was actually not standing like this thing. As you can see from the packaging, has a little flat pedestal it stands on. The one he showed had like a bulbous bottom, almost like Weebles Wobble, but they don't fall down type of an idea. The concept being that your standing knife, I'll use this normal knife as an example, would stand and, you know, kind of teeter-totter, but never really fall. I read a few reviews of that, and they were all saying, yeah, no, it does fall over, so don't bother with the that particular model. Then I saw this one, and I was like, ooh, this looks really cool. In fact, let's open it up, because it comes in really nice packaging here. Look at that. The standing knife. Oh, almost looks like a chess piece, doesn't it? Like a really, really tall bishop. There we go. There is the standing knife, and it's got a nice flat surface there that you can set it down, and it won't go anywhere. Now, as per my title, whatever you do, don't end up like the Joker. But we'll get to that. Now, this is really handy for a couple of reasons. One, if you're ever spreading stuff with a regular butter knife or mayonnaise or anything like that, you've got your goop on the end, and typically I put it on the edge of the sink over there. But as you can see, like, that is fine, but every once in a while the knife will slide around and it'll leave residue on the edge of the sink. Not so great. I know they've got spoon holders, and I assume maybe there's a knife version, but when I was thinking of getting this, I thought, yeah, you know what, this is perfect, because whatever's on there, it'll stay, whether it's mustard, mayonnaise, ketchup, what have you, it's going to stay, and it does. And then whoever next wants to help themselves, they just pick it up and spread away. It's fantastic. But what I'm also finding that this thing is really handy for is spreading butter straight out of the fridge. Now, I've got a sample slice of bread here, and I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about. Now, this is straight out of the fridge. It's a bit cold. This stuff, if you hold this handle in your hand a few times, there are butter knives that have got like little holes along the edges and stuff. They all work on this same principle. Warm up the blade with your hand. Like, get your hand around the handle. The heat from your hand will extend up the blade, and then it'll actually make it so that it's easier for you to spread the butter, theoretically. So let's just, yeah, look at that. It actually, fresh out of the fridge, it's very easy to get a bunch of that onto the knife. And then this is room temperature bread here. I can just spread it super thin, nice and easy, no problem at all. It would be interesting to compare. I'm actually going to conduct a little experiment of what happens, same thing, out of the freezer. The butter has now been in the freezer overnight. Here it is. So, I'm just letting you know, this is a solid brick of butter sitting in there. So now, I'm going to try the exact same thing with a knife. And I've got a nice, soft, pliable piece of bread that's been sitting out. So let's just try. And can you see it very well? Yeah, you can see it okay. Alright, so again, I'm going to hold the handle of the butter, or the knife, for a second, just to give it a chance to warm up a bit. And then let's see if I can spread the frozen butter as well. Fingers crossed. Alright. That should be pretty good by now. Can you make out the frost on the edges of the container there? Definitely, yeah, there's frost on there, so it's frozen. So here we go. Frozen bit of butter. Let's try this out. If I can hold it still. You can see it is coming up. It's a little bit of a bad angle, but you can see it is coming up. And then, if I try to spread that, maybe not the greatest test. Let's see if I can hold it with my thumb. Apologies for the lack of food. So there's a nice big splodge of butter on there. And does it spread or does it rip the bread? You know what? It's not doing a great job. Now this is the most extreme example. So yeah, frozen butter will spread with an asterisk, but it's not great. I wouldn't recommend it. Well, it's doable. I wouldn't recommend it for frozen butter, but I mean, it kind of works. Okay, well, admittedly, maybe not so hot with items straight out of the freezer, no pun intended, but that's okay. It does work really great as a standing knife. Your goo will not get on anybody else, or it won't end up messing up the sink. It's got a really nice finish to it. It was only $20. I'll put a link down below to where I got this from. It's a nice feeling, solid spreading knife that also, if you warm it up with your hand, you can actually use it with items straight out of the fridge. Maybe not the freezer, but definitely the fridge. What do I mean about the Joker? So there are people who have mentioned with this standing knife that it kind of freaks them out, and I was like, well, why? It's not a sharp knife. It's perfectly fine. But years ago, BuzzFeed or SourceFed, I can't remember, did a little series of skits where it was kind of things only married couples know, and the two actors in the sequence did a bit about cutlery in the dishwasher and how the husband would leave the knives kind of pointing up out of the dishwasher cutlery holder, and the wife was like, but what happens if you fall into it? And he was like, that sounds ridiculous, that would never happen. I guess though, point taken, if you've got this thing standing on a countertop or something like that, it is, a puncture concern. So, if the Joker happens to be nearby and he wants to make a pencil disappear, that could happen with this knife. So don't let that happen to you. Anyway, there is the Resolute standing spreader knife, the 355. I think that's the model number. A nice little unit, $20. Got it off Amazon. I recommend it if you're looking for a standing knife and also one that'll allow you to spread butter relatively quick, easily. All right, until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.